Have you ever wondered why certain individuals only appear in your life when you're most susceptible and vanish when, although it's difficult, everything are going nicely? Reality that loneliness and the aging process, yearning for meaningful connections, can making it simple to manipulate us, and emotional mistreatment, but it hasn't. This is how we're in this video, examining 7 essential components of suggestions that everyone should follow in their future years, must listen if you wish to safeguard and restore your emotional well-being, command of your life, and enjoy the rest of your years in peace and dignity. Then you should definitely watch this. From learning to stop without thinking, believing those who are simply interested in take advantage of your susceptibility to, departing from the imperceptible bonds of living one's life to satisfy other people. These, although facing facts is difficult, they are essential. Have you ever had the feeling that no, regardless of the amount you donate, it's never sufficient? Or maybe you're still waiting for the long overdue acknowledgement of these sacrifices will be discussed. Challenging queries and more. Will address the significance of distance as well. Protect yourself from poisonous individuals, even if family members talk on how focusing on the past can prevent you from living in the moment is too short. To spend it with individuals who deplete your vitality or mourn times that have passed. Remain with us until the end due to these transformative knowledge that will enable you to take charge of your happiness and establish a healthy limits and live in accordance with your own guidelines. Don't overlook the last bit of guidance that questions a conduct that, although many people avoid talking about it, significant effect on your overall sign up. You won't want to miss this well-being. If you haven't subscribed, I suggest registering and turning on the alert bell to ensure you don't miss any videos. I really appreciate your support. Additionally, if you liked this video, you can assist me in disseminating the important learning through sharing and liking it. The first rule of thumb is to never blindly have faith in everyone in their vicinity. This might seem like a terrible reality to you. However, as people age, it gets increasingly more. Never put your blind faith in anyone. Vital as we age and experience loneliness frequently appears, and the urge for meaningful relationships grow more intensely, we yearn for company, for someone who will participate in our encounters and hear our tales. But occasionally, this desire might make ourselves exposed, making us susceptible to individuals who don't always possess with the best of intentions. It's devastating, but not every individual that enters your life is. Have you ever noticed that they are there to lift you? How some people appear to be drawn to while you're feeling vulnerable. They show up when you're having trouble, but as soon as you're upright again, they fade away as though they were never. It's painful there in the first place. Truth, yet these people are fully aware of how you can prate about your feelings and your vulnerabilities, that they are able to use your generosity and take advantage of your shortcomings. It's so difficult to accept this because it feels natural to trust others, especially when you long for that connection. Consider regarding that friend or family member who consistently appears when you're feeling down, but abruptly disappears when life begins, seeming more radiant. Have you ever inquired? You know why that occurs? The sad. In actuality, a large number of these individuals are solely focused on their potential gains from you. Perhaps it's your funds, favors, or occasionally it's just the don't live in mistrust all the time. The assurance that they possess they thrive on having some influence over you. Your reliance being aware that when you're most exposed, you're less probably not. But here's the thing. It's not necessary to live life. Persistent mistrust that you don't need to ignore individuals out entirely. What you require is you must cultivate a more critical eye. The guts to refuse when it's necessary and to safeguard your most treasured possessions. Your tranquility, steadiness, and self-respect. It's difficult, yet we all want to think that people are well-meaning, and that although they are concerned, life has taught, not everyone is deserving of our blind trust. That the more watchful you are, the further you'll maintain your emotional well-being. You'll begin to perceive individuals that aim to exploit your kindness, and you'll be able to avoid being involved in poisonous situations that deprives you of the tranquility you deserve. Spend your last years regret-free. You should be allowed to trust, yet with the discernment to wonder when something feels off at the moment. So let's go straight to the second piece of guidance. Give up trying to please other people. I know this is especially true for your family. Difficult to believe for years, you've probably committed yourself to your kids. Your husband and grandchild are always. When you prioritize others' needs over your own, it's been your responsibility to look after them. Be there for them whenever they need you. However, the reality is that this pressure to consistently fulfill their expectations doesn't fade with age. Rather, it becomes even more severe. You begin to feel as if this isn't love. You are only worth what you can do. Continue to serve them, but let me clarify. This is not a romantic relationship. Measure of your value, it's a jail. Have you ever questioned why, even after providing, you still feel so much of yourself empty, unfulfilled, or even bitter? It's because regardless of how much you donate, there are always going to be more people than anticipate from you, and as you proceed, putting aside money, time, and even ask about your health to make other people happy. Who is caring for you yourself? In actuality, nobody will until you do. A lot of your relatives might view you as a constant source of assistance, practically, monetarily, and emotionally. They rely on you without hesitation and occasionally even to exploit your generosity and the benefits of back too frequently, just to be worn out. And lack of gratitude. If you're still viewing this video and discovering these teachings that are helpful, please leave a remark below to inform me of your continued presence. This doesn't imply that you should put your family's needs first, although it does indicate that you should change your emphasis. Returning to oneself, you are in a phase where life in which you're happy, your dreams and general well-being should be important, equal to, if not greater than, those of the people in your immediate vicinity. Have already given a great deal of yourself, and now it should. It's time to live, since you don't feel bad about wishing to put yourself in for once. If they truly love you, they will comprehend, and if not, then you are not at fault. It's time to escape the shackles of perpetual. You deserve to live your life to please others. Spend the last years of your life concentrating on what gives you happiness and contentment without fear and guilt. Believe me, this is the take a minute to recover your life and tranquility and your dignity. The truth is frequently challenging to accept, yet many family members view senior citizens as an endless supply of emotive, both material and financial assistance. They rely on you and anticipate that you will always be there for them, and frequently don't be afraid to misuse that position. Take your kindness for granted, and what do you often get in return? Usually, it's only an expression of thanks. No cause for guilt. This can cause excruciating discomfort, particularly after you've spent a lot of years of selfless sacrifice. But the actuality, you are currently at a point where you must set priorities. You must look for your own happiness and go after what you've always wished for but lacked the time or having the guts to do. It is crucial to recognize that there's no justification for feel bad for wanting to concentrate on you deserve this, because you've given it to yourself. A great deal of your energy, love, and your assets to individuals in your vicinity, and now is the moment to escape those unseen ties. If your family actually loves you and will comprehend the change and concentrate, and if they don't, it's not your fault. Yet you can't give up your health to fulfill the never-ending needs of others. Your health needs to be. Stop living your life. It's your top priority. Just to make other people think you've already given a lot about it. Don't you need to begin getting? Keep your distance from harmful individuals. Isn't it time to prioritize your own needs? This isn't guilt-free and fearless. Self-centeredness, self-preservation, and the sole method to guarantee your survival. Your last years in tranquility. And so, let's now discuss one of most challenging, but also among the most crucial pieces of guidance. Don't be fearful of separating from harmful individuals, even if they belong to your. This is a difficult one. Family. I know we've been taught to think that family is everything, regardless if occurs. We need to keep the peace and family harmony, but at what cost? How much it cost, and how many times you've had to misuse emotional blackmail or even shame as a result of being informed that the harsh truth is that family comes first. That occasionally the most affectionate thing you may take care of yourself by leaving it. It makes no difference if it's an ungrateful grandchild who is only interested in you out when they require a source of assistance, or perhaps a partner who treats you disrespectfully on a regular basis. Your emotional and mental well-being is more precious than any blood bond, so don't allow. Are you being duped by society or your conscience? Believing that aging is a time to suffer everything for the benefit of contrary to maintaining the peace, this period of life is when you should look for tranquility. For yourself to establish connections that look for peace, bring you comfort and joy rather than worry and agony. Consider how your life might appear as though you began setting clear boundaries. Image how much more. Your days could be more tranquil if you keep your distance from those that drain you, your vitality, or deprive you of it. Joy, it's time to regain authority. You no longer have time to spare. Waste of money on those who don't genuinely care about your remaining years are valuable, and they merit spending time in the companionship with individuals who offer you tranquility and happiness. Old age is not a time to give up bitter medicines merely to keep coexistence. Now is the moment to look for real tranquility, to be surrounded by others who encourage you. Picture the changes in your life if you start to establish limits and, when need, keep your distance from people who hurt you. This might be the secret to getting it back. Your contentment and safeguarding your emotional well-being. Keep in mind that you deserve to spend the rest of your life in comfort, surrounded by kind and loving people, not in tension in a state of perpetual chaos. Your health should always come first. Lack the luxury of leisure to spend money on those who sap your vitality or persistently erode your happiness. It's time for you to live this life. Put your peace of mind first, happiness and your health. It's time to genuinely cherish your business and make the decision to be in the company of people who truly care for you and provide. You have to bring positivity into your life. Keep in mind that your health comes first. Above all, it is your responsibility. Nobody has the right at all to keep. You're stuck in a poisonous relationship. Regardless of their identity, you possess the don't expect to be recognized ability to leave and defend your mental and emotional well-being. The fourth advice could be challenging to acknowledge, but it's necessary for your inner quit expecting people to notice. Peace. I am aware that your sacrifices can be a nasty pill to endure during You've probably made innumerable sacrifices for your kids. Your friends will always believe in you, partner. Hope they will eventually realize how much you've given and shown them how much they appreciate it. However, the unpleasant truth is that not many people receive this kind of recognition. Unmet expectations have the potential to erode your soul if you ever allow it to affect you. Discovered yourself thinking back on all the actions you've taken on behalf of others in silence, wishing that someone would at least say, "How many times has that happened? Thank you." The unpleasant reality. Sincere appreciation is never the unpleasant reality is that by anticipating acknowledgement that you place your joy in by other people's hands, you create yourself vulnerable in the hopes of receiving approval through their behavior or statements. And when that appreciation doesn't come, the resentment and disappointment can begin to develop within you, becoming contempt over time about what matters. To understand that the sacrifices you make don't become less valuable just because they go ignored. The value of what you did is independent of other people's recognition of your kindness. Your love and kindness are components of who you are, and that in itself provides them with meaning. But if you're really looking for tranquility, you have to let go of the necessity. You have to stop for external validation, awaiting approval from others or thank you for your efforts, especially at this time, when you're older and time is too valuable to waste time waiting for anything that might not materialize. If you are the secret to contentment, continuing to view this video and discover these beneficial lessons, kindly leave a remark below as well to inform me of your continued presence. For me, the secret to happiness is relinquishing that expectation, with the exception of that some individuals might never completely acknowledge your efforts on their behalf, and it's all right. Your life shouldn't be determined by the approval of others or approval, rather than pride and satisfaction from knowing that you took action. Discover fulfillment and pride out of kindness and love, and allow that be sufficient. After releasing oneself from need approval from those, you open the gateway to a more profound state of tranquility. And remember that you don't need anyone. You already have someone else to prove your value. Possess the inner strength, acknowledging that fame might never. This does not lessen the worth of your efforts. Do not imply that you have done was useless or unintentional. Rather, it indicates that you are deciding to free oneself from the unseen bonds of other people's expectations, enabling you to lead a more liberated and you've already lived a genuine life, so take pride. Tremendously, and it's time to live for. Take pride in everything that you have. Fulfilled all of your sacrifices, created and your shared affection, but keep in mind that your value is independent of whether or not others recognize its strength. The desire to feel important has always been inside. You have the right to assert and own that the sixth item of advice could be challenging to listen to, yet it's possibly the most revolutionary. Quit using your age as this is a terrible justification not to change. Reality that many people find difficult to comprehend. How have you frequently heard someone remark, or maybe you told yourself, I'm too old. It's time for a change. For that, regardless of whether learning something new, letting go of bad behaviors, or permitting yourself to discover joy in age is frequently employed in novel and inventive ways as an obstacle and a practical justification for stay the same, yet this is the truth. While you're still here, there's always, many people think that it's time for change. Once you're old enough, there's no more any space for profoundly significant changes, whether they are in your think, act, or live. But with incredulity is a perilous myth that deceives people with a resigned attitude. Instead of rejuvenation, old age might be among the most potent periods for change, since wisdom comes with age, viewpoint, and a more profound comprehension of the things that really count in life. You've gained knowledge throughout the years that, simply said, younger people do not yet have. However, that knowledge is only useful if you dare to use it and consider all the chances you might have lost since you thought it was too late. How many dreams were laid aside? How many adventures were never pursued? Love was never known because you make yourself believe that those items were not for you anymore. The true tragedy is not in the process of aging, but in the self-imposed restrictions we impose on ourselves since we're older than most folks. Would you dare suggest that being older is a benefit? It gives you a viewpoint that only time can provide, a more comprehensive understanding of what fulfills and what. It's not about getting too old, is it? It's about understanding that you are capable of change at any time in your life, regardless of whether you're 60, 70, 80, and beyond are the only things that actually, yes, you are the one holding yourself back. Modification. Admitting that change can be uncomfortable, challenging, particularly after experiencing a particular manner for a long time, but once you recognize that this fact is also emancipating the instant you cease allowing. Use your age as a justification to access the capacity to seize new opportunities, encounters, and joy. You are never too old to change your life and pursue redefining your purpose or pursuing new goals. The restrictions don't apply to you. As long as you have them in your head, are prepared to confront those mental obstacles, you may keep learning and developing, and embrace life to the fullest rather than viewing your consider age as a strength rather than a barrier. Launching ground for novel opportunities, as you will remain there as long as you are alive, continues to have limitless possibilities for change that occurs. Know of how big or tiny can give life new purpose. Bring taste into your life the authentic way. The number of years is not the limitation. You've lived, yet your perspective regarding those years as soon as you're free yourself from the perspective of that age is equivalent to stagnation. You open up to a realm of new possibilities and experiences. Being older is not a barrier. It's a tool that can assist you traverse life with the knowledge and understanding that only time will provide. The taking the sixth item of advice can be challenging, except particularly as the years pass. Avoid holding on to the past as though it were your only. Have a slight sense of nostalgia can provide solace by serving as a reminder of treasured recollections and enjoyable moments. But when we give ourselves permission to dwell in, we run the risk of both the past and the present becoming captives of our memories, as those are definitely priceless memories. Memories prisoners. They shouldn't be the motivation behind the way we currently live our lives. How have you caught yourself a lot claiming that things were better in my day, or I was content prior to it being a natural sensation? However, it may be harmful if it takes over your thoughts in that way. A sentimental yearning for the past is enticing, drawing you in and causing you to think that the highlights of your although life is over, the reality is by clinging too tightly to your past. Cut yourself off from the development of beauty and future prospects. Yes, things may not be ideal right now, but it is actual, palpable, and accept the present, the time you now have, which makes, if you spend too much time, it's invaluable. Reflecting on the past and regretting what has already occurred, you run the danger of missing the life that lies ahead of you. You ultimately fail to truly experience what could be, and that's among the best methods of the valuable time you have departed from, though. While the past has its place, the future still has potential, so don't let your recollections' comfort stops you from. The secret to generating novel experiences is must strike a balance and respect your history without letting it specify or restrict your embrace the present moment, because it's everything you really have, and by doing this, you'll find that there is still a lot of much more to provide you than you are spending. Time spent reflecting on the past denies you the chance to reside in the moment and feel what is yet to come. Forward, it's a waste of valuable time. Life goes in cycles and you have left. Make new memories, whereas the times you've spent in the past has significance and worth. Now is the moment to focus on in the direction of making new memories, new sources of happiness, and reimagining yourself. Ways you might not have previously believed that you are not exclusively defined by, and your recollections are also influenced by the decisions you make and activities you spend the remaining time. If you continue to view this video and discover these teachings are helpful, please leave a comment. Relive the good times, 3 below, to inform me if you're still present with me, despite how alluring it is possibly to revisit the enjoyable moments of you have to keep in mind that such moments have already fulfilled their reason, they fulfilled their part in forming your current identity, yet they are. The challenge is no longer present, is to discover contentment and significance in what can you still do in your existing life. See and experience what today will offer you. Joy, don't let nostalgia to consume you. Was oblivious to the potential of life is full with possibilities. Surprises, but only if you give yourself permission for you to see them. It's your decision. Should you stay trapped in what has? Don't masturbate daily past, or do you welcome the possibility? Regarding novel encounters, the 6th component of giving advice could make you uneasy. However, you must refrain from masturbating daily, even while this can be a subject that many avoid it, but it's crucial to discuss. When done publicly, masturbation. Moderation is a normal and beneficial aspect of life. It can alleviate tension and offer a feeling of solace, yet when it turns into a regular or obsessive habit, it can be an indication of a deeper yearning to go away from feelings of loneliness or even being unhappy with your life. Have you ever pondered why you could experience the desire to masturbate every day, frequently? Why engage in masturbation? Conduct results from an effort to satisfy an emotional gap, or as a way to deal with sensations of tension and annoyance, what appears to be a temporary or fast remedy. Over time, relief can become a vicious cycle. The instant satisfaction that you at that point seek could start to take the place of your quest for more profound and significant relationships with other people and even with yourself. Even though the physical act might provide temporary respite, it's essential to striking a balance. Consider whether this is actually addressing the source of your feelings, or is it just offering a momentary diversion from them. Achieving equilibrium in every aspect of life, which includes your sexual well-being, is need for a full life. And significantly, when masturbating turns into a method of avoiding dealing with more serious problems, it can deprive you of the chance to participate in more constructive emotional development and connection. The reality is that as we age, it becomes more and more crucial to concentrate on attaining equilibrium in each facets of life, such as how we, masturbation, control our emotional and physical needs. Masturbation every day while offering temporary respite may eventually wear off. Your vibe is making you feel alone. When unplugged occasionally, it can even establish a gap in intimate relationships, taking the place of the more profound relationships that result in long-lasting satisfaction. When we depend too much on one form of enjoyment, masturbation, it becomes simple to ignore other significant methods to support our emotional and bodily health. As opposed to looking only for pleasure in this manner, Why not investigate a range of pursuits that happiness and contentment can make you happy and satisfied? Easy exercises like walking, engaging in hobbies, reading, or even having meaningful interactions with friends can provide longer-lasting satisfaction. That these encounters can re-establish your connection to the outside world and offer emotional support without the adverse consequences of a moderation in compulsive habits is essential. By lowering the number of masturbations, you make it possible to learn new things, kind of happiness and health, that these forms may be more enriching and balanced. Helping to create a more fulfilling and living a holistic existence isn't about getting rid of masturbating instead of making sure that it continues to be a component of a healthy lifestyle. In conclusion, the intention is to keep it from turning into an escape system that separates you from deeper sources of joy and genuine emotional ties, discovering that finding balance might result in a more contented end. As we approach the conclusion, take a time to consider this video. Everything we've talked about, from education to safeguard your mental health, release from the restraints of expectations that welcome change in whatever way of age to achieve equilibrium in every aspect in your life that you have found meaningful. We'd be interested in knowing what please share one item you've learned thus far from the video you're going to import into practice in the comments section of your life. Remember, the real transformation underneath starts when we act upon the things we've. Please let me know if you liked this video. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for additional content. Visit our YouTube channel that motivates and supports a healthy and more contented existence.